by 4x4. There are very few vehicles that can be instantly recognized by a simple badging like that. Yes, I'm talking about the Force Gurkha. And with me today is the 2024 version of this iconic Indian off-roader. What has changed, you ask? Well, it is now more robust looking, more feature packed, and thanks to some changes under the hood, it is more powerful than ever. And with that has also returned the 5-door version of this SUV. And what that promises is not just being a more capable off-roader, but also more appealing for people who are looking for a lifestyle vehicle. But can it live up to those promises? Let's find out in this video. But before we move ahead, why don't you hit that subscribe button? And while you're at it, do hit that bell notification as well, so you never miss an update from us. And if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow enthusiasts. The G-Wagon of India, that is what people affectionately call the Gurkha, and this SUV still pretty much does justice to that name. You still have that boxy design with sharp lines and straight edges, gives it that robust look. You have the clamshell bonnet that adds muscle, and the premium element comes from this LED headlamps with the LED DRL ring. Looks very nice. And then you have the signature hood mounted lamps which act as the indicators. This is a signature design that is also seen on the original G-Wagon. This is of course all standard, including the snorkel. Yes, the Gurkha is the only off-roader in India that comes with a snorkel as a standard fitment. What's new here are these 18-inch alloy wheels. These are dual tone wheels, look very robust, very beefy, adds a bit of character to this SUV. Then of course this is the 5-door version. You have a bench seat at the middle, and the third row seats, which earlier used to be side facing seats, have been replaced by captain seats. So it is pretty much very comfortable now. You can have 7 passengers in relative comfort. We'll show it to you in a minute. Then you have the 4x4x4 badging. Of course, why that extra 4? Because it's a 4x4 that can handle all kinds of terrains, the 4 different terrains and the 4 different weathers that we see in India.
The new 18-inch alloy wheels have helped increase the ground clearance to 233 mm, a bump of 23 mm compared to the older version. Also, compared to the 3-door version, this new 5-door Gurkha is 425 mm longer, comes with 425 mm longer wheelbase as well, and it's taller by 15 mm. Both are identical in terms of width though.
At the rear, you don't see any major change in terms of design. You still get that Force badging here. You get a spare wheel mounted to the tailgate, which is of course the same 18-inch set of alloy wheels as the rest of the car. And then you have the iconic Gurkha badge right here.
You can also give your Gurkha a more robust, adventurous look by adding accessories like a heavy-duty roof rack, a beefy windshield brace, and a tailgate ladder, which will be sold separately by Force India. One of the tasks that Force had on its hand was to improve the cabin experience of the Gurkha to make it more palatable to customers looking for more lifestyle-oriented vehicles, a trend we saw become popular with the new Thar.
So what has changed? Well, you get new seats with better cushioning. The quality of the upholstery has immensely improved. You get this nice dual-tone pattern with the Gurkha embroidery and the contrast red stitching. And as you get inside, you will find that you get new bigger 9-inch infotainment system. This is 2 inches bigger than the previous one. You earlier used to get a 7-inch unit. This is pretty basic unit though. You don't get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, anything. It's just an Android based device with Bluetooth connectivity. You can mirror your phone with using a third-party app, which we tried, but it's not very useful. However, the system is decent. The sound system is also pretty decent. You do get a fully digital instrument cluster here with just a 7-inch unit. Very informative, nice crisp colors. Gives you tire pressure monitor as well. Earlier you used to get this separate unit over here. Now you get an integrated unit. So that has changed. What is not good though is the plastic quality. It's still very hard and rough. Even the steering feels quite dated. This looks like a heavy, something that you will see in a traveler, Force Traveler. So all these things make the SUV look a bit dated. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice space. You get personal armrest for both these passengers, which is a new addition. You also get electronically adjustable ORVMs, and you also get new cup holders, which can be used both by the rear passenger as well as the front passenger, with some chrome detailing around the center console. This 5-seater version comes with a bench seat for the second row. This is a pretty flat unit, so 3 average size people can sit here abreast. That won't be a major problem. What would be a problem though is having good leg space. Now, This is set to my driving position. I am 5 feet 9 inches tall. So you can get an assumption as to what kind of space I am getting here. My knees are brushing against the front seat. However, it's not a major problem. But what's the problem is that I'm not getting enough under thigh support. That could have been better. What could have also been better is that you could have had 3-pointed seat belt for all seats. Now, the captain seats do get 3-pointed seat belts, but the center middle row seat, this gets a lap belt only, which is a feature that we feel shouldn't be the case in such a modern car. You do get rear AC vents over here attached to the roof. Now, unit is a very dated unit. I feel even the finishing and the attachment is pretty flimsy. This could have been something that Force could have worked upon, given us a better unit, better integrated unit that would have looked nice in a 2024 SUV. But still, this is what you get. There is a central armrest with cup holders, so you can have some drinks over here if you are just 4 people traveling in this car. So that's a pretty nice space. Now let's get to the third row and find out what you get there. Get into the third row, you will have to open the tailgate, and it is a bit of a climb, so I feel maybe older passengers might not be able to get in easily. But once you get in, you'll notice that the seats are pretty much okay. You get good cushioning. It's a captain seat, so you get 3-pointed seat belts. You get some cup holders here. Legroom could have been better, but I don't expect much from a third row. Actually quite good compared to other 3-row SUVs we see in this segment. Overall, a pretty decent weight. You have the AC right there, so the airflow will be there, and the windows are also big enough so that you don't feel very claustrophobic at here.
In terms of safety, Force has taken care of the basics with standard features like dual airbags, front disc brakes with anti-lock braking system and electronic brake force distribution. You also get a rear parking camera, 3-pointed seat belts and a tire pressure monitoring system, among others.
Now the Gurkha comes with an updated 2.6-liter diesel engine. It is the same engine, however, it has been up-tuned and now it produces 138 brake horsepower and 320 Newton meter of peak torque. Now these are some huge bumps compared to the older figure. Earlier this used to make about 90 bhp and 250 Newton meter of peak torque. So you can imagine the kind of change you might experience, and to an extent you can feel it while you're driving the car. It is the torque, low end torque is much better. It offers good pickup and even the power delivery is nice. Yes, there is a bit of lag in the lower revs, but as soon as you cross the 2000 RPM mark, the power buildup becomes better. The speed also builds up nicely and feels nicer to drive, more engaging and more fun. However, in the lower revs, as I mentioned before, there is good amount of lag. So that is something that you need to consider. Come to some other updates, you also get a new 5-speed manual gearbox with the Gurkha, and it is decent, does the job decently. This is not the most refined gearbox you will find in this space, especially the shifts between the first and second and from to the third. It is not very refined, it is a bit notchy, and even the gear ratios are a bit short. So you will have to do some constant shifting, especially when you're in stop and go traffic. So it might become a challenge for you. However, to make things better, Force has offered a light clutch, so it's not too heavy, so there won't be much fatigue in that manner. But yes, this might not be something that you will enjoy in traffic. Now, one of the directives for Force India was to make this a more lifestyle oriented vehicle, and for that the company has offered certain features that we spoke about earlier. However, one aspect that I wish the company would have offered here is offering an automatic gearbox, where that would have opened this SUV to a much wider number of car buyers who are looking for robust 4x4 vehicle with mixed usage, majorly on highways driving and city commute. So that could have been a good addition, and I believe Force might consider this for the future. Another thing that would have been a good option is offering a rear wheel drive version instead of keeping the 4x4 as standard. That would have also allowed a lot of buyers to consider the Gurkha at a cheaper price. Coming to the ride quality, the Gurkha can handle all kind of terrains with pretty much a good amount of ease. However, on tarmacs and good set of roads, you will find that the car might feel a bit bouncy. That has to do with the suspension, which has been tuned to handle rough roads and harder terrains. However, it's not bad. In fact, we have been driving this since morning, and most of our driving has been on good tarmacs, so it's not that unnerving. But yeah, it could have been better. With regards to handling, this is a tall SUV and bigger than most of the ones that you'll see on the road, and that means that it has immense body roll as well. After all, it is a ladder on frame chassis, so you can't escape body roll. But it is much controlled now, I feel. These are some nice twisty roads, and the SUV feels quite planted, so that is not a major problem that you might need to worry about. The steering, of course, is a bit too stiff for my liking, and even the quality of the steering is not that great. So it could have been better. The company could have offered a newer steering wheel with some amount of ease in terms of maneuverability. But it's not bad. If you are looking for a hardcore off-roader, this works. It is utilitarian after all. Having said that, the steering does offer good feedback. Now, when you're driving a Gurkha, you cannot not talk about the 4x4 and this off-roading capabilities. So let's move on to the off-road track and get into that aspect.
The Gurkha's off-road prowess is well known, and it has the credentials for it. The SUV comes with a proper 4x4 system with front and rear locking differential. The 233mm ground clearance allows it to go over any kind of undulation with ease, while the turning radius, which is 5.5 meter for the 3-door version and 6.3 meters for the 5-door version, allows the Gurkha to maneuver through those tight turns.
Well, right now we are experiencing the off-road capabilities of the new Gurkha. Now, one big addition to the car over here is that instead of a shifter lever, now you get an electronic dial to adjust 4x4 levels of the car. As you can see right now, I am on an incline. Quite capable, I have to say. Now, I'm not doing much. I'm just slightly giving accelerator inputs, and the rest the car is doing by itself. So yes, capability wise, the Gurkha still has it. So the important thing over here is that you have to engage and do this in 4 low, because it's extremely challenging terrain that is in front of us. So the car needs enough traction to address it. So now we are going to a section where we'll test the gradability of the car. And this car has a gradability level of 35 degrees. So this is performing quite nicely.
The Gurkha also has a water wading capability of 700mm, which puts it in the same league as the Toyota Hilux. The SUV also gets hydraulic brakes with a steering that's adjustable for reach and height. Both the 3-door and the 5-door Gurkha will be offered in only one variant each, and we expect them to be priced between 17 lakh rupees and 20 lakh rupees ex-showroom India. The Force Gurkha has always been a strong off-roader, and with this new 2024 update, the SUV has only gotten better. Having said that, based on what Force told us, the aim here was also to make the SUV more appealing to modern buyers looking for a lifestyle vehicle, essentially customers buying the Mahindra Thar. And if that's the case, there is still room for improvement. The fit and finish of the cabin needs to be improved. More creature comforts and tech need to be on offer, and the company needs to offer an option for an automatic and a rear wheel drive version. So, Force India, there is still some work that needs to be done.